creepy and cool TikToks that will blow your mind. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
Yes, this is exactly what we were warned about. Scientists are in shock after discovering signs of a creature larger than an entire continent rising from the ocean depths. Its name, as written in Isaiah 27, Leviathan, the monstrous serpent of chaos foretold to appear on Judgment Day. Aerial photos now show what looks like a colossal head beneath the waves. It's not land, it's moving. And sonar scans taken in May revealed a massive dark shape, hundreds of feet deep, slowly pushing toward the surface. Its size, bigger than the entire state of Texas. Experts fear it could be heading toward the US, especially after a sudden crack 6 football fields wide opened in Wyoming without warning. Meanwhile, earthquakes are increasing, whales and marine life keep washing ashore. Lifeless, everything points to one chilling possibility. Leviathan is waking up, or the Bible's doomsday prophecy coming true. If it's real, humanity may already be...
Can we hurry up? These bills are getting on my nerves.
Breaking news. A man in Ghana, identified as Noah, has become the talk of the nation after claiming that what happened during the biblical days of Noah is about to happen again. According to him, starting December 25th, 2025, a heavy rain will fall continuously for 3 years, flooding the entire world. He says God revealed it to him, and he has already begun building an ark to prepare for what's coming. Noah, who lives in a small community in Ghana, says he has spent months gathering strong, seasoned wood to build the ark. He claims the materials are not ordinary, that each piece has been prayed over and chosen under divine instruction. While many people laugh at him and call him crazy, others are beginning to pay attention. Some say, wasn't it the same thing people said to the first Noah? They mocked him until it was too late. Despite the criticism, this modern-day Noah says he will not stop. He believes his mission is to save as many lives as possible before the rain begins. He invites anyone who believes to join him in building the ark and preparing for the flood. Whether it's faith, fear, or pure conviction, one thing is clear. His story has sparked conversations across Ghana and beyond. People are wondering, could this be history repeating itself?
Genesis 9:13. God promised not to destroy the earth using a flood.
This one very compelling story about Jesus Christ, which is very compelling because there's no human beings historically, like even like if you're a Muslim, some of the things that Muhammad did, a lot of people are like, hey, this is kind of crazy. He married a 9-year-old. Hey, this is kind of crazy. Like, what do you like? He's a warlord. Hey, this is kind of crazy. Like with Jesus Christ, it's very weird. Like you have this insanely peaceful person in a time of ultimate chaos, where the Romans are literally taking people that they don't like and pegging them to a cross. Yeah. And then this guy decides he wants to die that way. And this is everybody's story that interacts with him. Nobody's like, oh, I knew Jesus. He was that guy was a piece of shit. Let me tell you what he f***ed my sister, dude. I told him, just don't f*** my sister. Like, no, there's no stories like that. It's weird. The story is weird. The story of this guy who tells you universal truths that apply today. You know, treat everyone as if they are you. Yeah. And that he figured this out 2,000 years ago? I want to know who that guy was. Like, what was going on with that guy? Was that guy like the ultimate mushroom eater of all time? Did he figure it all out back then? And was he teaching these people that? Or was he an extraterrestrial? Was he what we think of as the Son of God because he literally is born from another life form and brought down to Earth to try to help our advancement?
It's all fascinating.
It is very fascinating because, and anybody who's Christian, like, that's bullshit and blasphemy and you don't know the canon. You're right. But you gotta throw the human being filter into the equation. Always. Look, there's some things about the human being filter that are really fascinating. Like, one of the things that Wes Huff told us when he was on the podcast is explaining that the book of Isaiah from the Dead Sea Scrolls, which they didn't even know existed. When they translated it, they found out it is 1,000 years older than the book of Isaiah that was thought to be the oldest version of it, and they're identical, verbatim, word for word. So that's where it gets crazy, right? So there's something about once it's written down that the true devotees, and as long as you don't get some asshole rabbis decide, get that book of Isaiah out of there, or get that book of Enoch out of there. There's a few, we're humans. The human cat shit filter gets in the way. And you get human interaction with this, and then you lose some of the story. Like, what was the story, though?
Yeah.
This is my take on all of it. There was something that happened, man. And we have this urge to deny that this something might have been some higher intelligence from somewhere else manipulating human genes. But we do it.
Yeah.
That guy was God in the flesh, Joe. Get to know him. It's easy. All you got to do is ask God to reveal Jesus. That's it.
No one really knew what Jesus looked like until a little boy claimed he had seen him with his own eyes. What shocked everyone wasn't just his story, but who he recognized years later. When Colton Burpo was only 4, his appendix ruptured and his life hung by a thread in the operating room. Doctors didn't think he would survive. But when he finally woke up, what he said left his parents frozen in disbelief. He spoke of heaven, of angels, of meeting a sister he never knew existed, and of standing face to face with Jesus himself. His story was so clear, so detailed, that it quickly spread around the world. Yet, there was one thing he could never quite describe: the face of Christ. Time passed until one ordinary day, while watching TV, a painting appeared on the screen. Colton stopped, completely still, his eyes locked on the image. Then he whispered, "That's him." The painting was created by Akiane Kramarik, a young prodigy who also said she had seen heaven. The two had never met, never spoken, and yet both described the same face: eyes filled with understanding, a calm that softens the soul, and a love beyond words. Maybe that portrait was not painted, but remembered by two hearts that saw the same heaven. And if deep inside you feel that longing too, speak it out in faith and type below, "I believe he lives."
Yes, amen. I believe my Lord Jesus lives.
Oh, you son of a bitch. What have you done? So as you know, everybody has to watch what they eat. Because as the saying goes, you are what you eat. So my friend sent me this picture, and he said he doesn't know if he's high or he's imagining things. But when he looks at this burger and squints his eyes, he says he can see something inside it. So people, when you look at this burger and squint your eyes, tell me what you see.
Oh, I see mustache. I see humans. Okay. A man with a mustache. Ooh, that's me.
Well, there's another update to 3i Atlas. But this time what I'm going to share with you is very concerning. I'm about to discuss a lot about 3i Atlas in this video, but I need you to keep it in the back of your mind that a lot of statements that are coming out from astrophysicists and also scientists have not been confirmed by officials as of yet. So anything that you hear or see, please take it as entertainment purposes only. Well, apparently, Harvard physicist Abe Loeb told Dextrose that the UN must act now. The reason for his warning? He claims that 3i Atlas could be alien technology, and the fact that it's alien technology may have the capabilities of reaching Earth. And as he states, humans have no plans if aliens were to arrive. There have also been unconfirmed claims that 3i Atlas is allegedly supposed to arrive sometime in November. He's claiming it'll be here in December. sometime during the week of the 19th. There are also claims that 3i Atlas, when it arrives, will be much bigger than some have said or anticipated, and it will not enter Earth's orbit, rather just hover above it. Now, I don't know if you're buying into this or not, or whether this is real or not, but this, the way it's going, just sounds like it could be true. If you just stop for a minute and think about everything that they've been saying. If you think about it, I just did a video recently where they talked about human DNA, small traces of human DNA that were found on that meteorite. And like I say in all my videos, whatever they're talking about now or they're telling you about, they've already known about it. So I guess my question to you is, do you think that this is all a distraction from something else? Or is this something that we should be concerned with? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Project Blue Beam, folks. Project Blue Beams.
This is the coldest place on Earth, a place where even boiling water freezes in the air. Here, temperatures can drop to an astonishing -63 degrees Celsius. Anything left outside freezes within seconds. Fish and meat in the markets remain naturally frozen because the outside temperature is colder than any freezer. Even a banana can be used as a hammer. Cars can freeze within minutes, so people need to keep their engines running all the time. Leaving the house is almost a mission. Over 10 kilograms of clothing, layers and layers of insulation just to step outside. The only exposed skin is around the eyes, which still needs careful protection. This isn't a place for vegetarians, since fresh produce is scarce, while meat is the main part of the diet. Even cell phones can't handle it. They shut down within minutes outdoors. Despite the brutal cold, the city thrives, with nearly 360,000 inhabitants who have adapted to this frozen frontier. Living here is a challenge for everyone, because without proper precautions, one could die from the cold. And the name of this place is Yakutsk in Russia. Would you like to live here? If you're not following, you'll probably never see us again. But if you are, congratulations. You're growing every day.
I'm not sure about living though, but I want to go there and just check it out. It looks beautiful.
I am not comfortable with this Comet Atlas.
I know.
And I, like, you know,
we've got Avi Loeb coming on to talk about it.
He's amazing. I had him on my podcast a long time ago. He put up with my
A lot of people in the beginning were saying that it's bullshit, it's a comet, why is he saying this? He's risking his reputation. But then as time's going on, they're going, well, this is weird. This thing's really weird.
Well, it's the, okay, first of all, it's important to note that one thing that titillates my dumbass is it just so happens the government shutdown coincides with when we could use the satellites on Mars to get pictures of that fucking thing, so we're not getting pictures. They did release a picture of it yesterday.
Wait a minute. The government shutdown is stopping us from getting pictures of this thing?
Yes.
What? That's insane.
That's insane. Now
that's so insane. They should open that up.
I mean, it seems like that's really weird. Did you see the images that just came in though? The Europeans got an image of it.
It's weird looking.
It's weird looking, but I don't know what a comet looks like. So
I don't know what a comet looks like, and I don't know why it's weirder than other comets.
But it does seem like it's going loop, loop. It's like rolling in a weird way, but it's the gas, right? It's like it's what it's releasing is the weird part.
Well, the weird part is coming from the same part of the universe where the WOW signal came from.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's weird.
That's fucking weird.
That's weird. Because that WOW signal, what was it, like 70 seconds long? Some very strange coded signal that was 70 seconds long.
You know what else is weird is Jeremy Corbell said a bunch of people are going to start saying there's a mothership coming to Earth and don't believe him. Remember he was saying that?
Yeah, what's that all about? Why did he know that?
I don't know.
You got to tell people why you know something like that. You can't just say that.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like, how do you know? There's this guy, Avi Loeb, who's a professor out of Harvard, who is saying that some of these objects that we're seeing in space, they're moving in very bizarre ways. They're enormous.
China just discovered the largest gold mine in the world, and what's important is what's about to happen because of it. China said, quote, according to our estimates, there may be over 1,000 tons of gold under the ground. And you need to know what's about to happen now that China has discovered this gold. In fact, this is such a huge amount of gold China has discovered that China says it's worth over 80 billion US dollars. And I actually don't think that they're exaggerating. China said that some of the rocks they've dug up, you can actually see big pieces of gold inside of them. Now, these gold reserves that China just discovered are actually going to make China the #1 producer and consumer of gold in the world. And that's really quite a big deal, but also because China has discovered so much gold, it's very likely that it could affect the market because more supply means lower prices. Now, it goes without saying, this is a huge deal. This is the largest gold reserve that's ever been discovered. And it's very likely that China can use this money and gold to leverage against other things and get things for themselves. Super interesting, but as usual, you can leave me a follow for some more global news like this.
Everybody finding gold. How can the price keep rising?
What if I told you that Lucifer is not the only prince of hell? And what's even more terrifying, Lucifer might not even be the most fearsome of them all. According to the medieval grimoire, the Lesser Key of Solomon, there are 7 princes who rule the underworld, each commanding countless legions of demons. One of them is Mammon, the prince of greed, wealth, and injustice. Mammon is said to be a fallen angel, the embodiment of humanity's endless hunger for power and money. He tempts souls to betray their morals, to trade truth for gold, and to worship wealth instead of God. In the Bible, Jesus warned, no one can serve both God and Mammon. But what makes Mammon truly dangerous is his ability to take any form and wander the earth, seeking those whose hearts are already darkened by desire. So if someone near you begins to change, to crave power, to chase riches at any cost, be careful, for you may be standing closer to Mammon than you think. If you live in the light of God, type Amen in comments.
Christ is king.
Cocaine is bigger than ever. Production of the white stuff has more than tripled since 2014. Consumption is at record highs too. But gone are the days of a centralized Pablo Escobar-style command and control empire. Today's industry is an intricate network of subcontractors and specialists. One of those is narco divers. These experts are commissioned to attach cocaine to the hulls of ships, which may not be as closely monitored as the containers on board. This is the moment that Spanish police retrieved 22 kilos of cocaine from a vessel in Las Palmas. Another specialty is making narco subs. These can transport as much as 8 tons of cocaine. Last year, some 25 were seized, a fraction of the hundreds that are probably out there. Narco-chemists are another growing trend. These experts are able to chemically mask cocaine so that it escapes spot testing at ports. Upon reaching its destination, it's extracted back into its original state. It's been found hidden in things like passion fruit pulp. Subcontracting all these jobs requires trust. In the normal world, laws and courts solve this problem. But for criminals, one answer is technology. Apple AirTags embedded in cocaine bricks allow buyers and sellers to track progress on their phones. Stablecoins are popular for laundering the profits because unlike cash, they can be sent across borders from one wallet to another with barely any checks. Often the answer is also violence. If you steal merchandise, you risk your life. When drugs are stolen by subcontractors, the drug owners turn to torture and public murders to send a message. Today, Ecuador has one of the world's highest homicide rates, as cocaine trafficking has shifted to its ports. Economics suggests this violence could spread globally. While America used to be the focus of cocaine traffickers, fentanyl and other drugs have become more popular there, and instead, Europe has now become the world's most valuable cocaine market. Buying a kilo wholesale in America costs about $30,000. In Europe, it's between $39,000 and $45,000. Even more lucrative markets are emerging too. In Hong Kong, a kilo costs $65,000. If traffickers make it to Australia, the same package can make them as much as $250,000.
That's crazy.
This price premium suggests new routes should be expected to rapidly increase to Asia and Australia. The decentralized nature of today's growing cocaine industry is far more resilient. If a shipment is captured, tracing the owners is extremely difficult. Bombing drug boats almost certainly won't have any lasting effects on the supply of drugs. Instead, the cocaine business is probably coming to a port near you.
My brothers, every time you masturbate, you are sacrificing your seed onto a demonic altar to keep you in covenant with demonic spirits, to constantly fuel this urge, to keep you in sin, to keep you spiritually discerned and keeping you away from God. Make no mistake. Why do you think every time you try to cut yourself off from any form of temptation, it seems almost impossible? That's because it's not just a mental fight. It's not just a physical fight. It's a spiritual fight. So if you're not understanding what's going on and going about it spiritually, you're going to lose every single time. Why do you think every single time you choose to do right, urges will just feel like impossible? Why do you think the women, the temptations just start to ramp up? It seems like it's almost impossible to escape. That's because that's a spiritual fight that's going on, and you're not knowing what's truly going on. You don't know what you've put yourself in covenant to. You don't realize the bondage that you're in. I am a living testimony, because this is what happens, right? Whenever a man chooses to step out of sexual immorality, whenever he stops touching himself, this is what happens. Those urges start to come, and out of nowhere, women just start to be tempting them. And you wonder, like, dang, like, it wasn't like this at first. You need to wake up and smell a coffee. You have a mind, body, and soul, which means you have a mind, which is physical, a body, which is physical, and a soul, which is non-physical, which is immaterial. So everything that you fight is going to consist of mind, body, and soul, physical, and non-physical. But if you're not seeing the immaterial part of the fight, you're going to lose every single time. You want to know what happens whenever you cut yourself off? Once you be like, you know what, I ain't doing it no more, and you actually stop, after you start to endure to where you cut that woman off, where you ain't masturbating no more, demonic spirits starts to visit you in your sleep, and they start taking your seed from you. You start having these demonic dreams. You start having these wet dreams, and you wondering like, dang, what the heck going on? It's because you're not sacrificing your seed no more. You're not giving them your seed no more. You're not giving them your life force. So now they coming to take it. So if they can't take it by you masturbating, or if they can't take it by you fornicating, laying down with a woman that you ain't supposed to be with, they come for you in your sleep. Understand that these demonic altars need some type of life force on it, whether it be by blood, hence why people be making sacrifices, blood sacrifices, these blood offerings, or by way of your semen, because your semen contains what? Life. So whenever you choose to walk away from it, you choose Christ, the devil starts to get angry, and he starts to get more desperate, and he starts to work more and more harder. Think I'm lying? I'm a living testimony. Cut myself off from porn, was doing good, urges start to come, was able to endure the urges. Women start to try to come, started to endure the women, and out of nowhere, wet dreams, day after day it felt like. I'm talking about 3 wet dreams a week.
What?
And I'm like, bro, I ain't never had no wet dream. I'm a grown man, and I'm having all these wet dreams out of nowhere, all these demonic dreams that's coming. That's because your semen was empowering the demonic realm, bro. Think I'm lying? See for yourself. Give your life to Christ, start walking with Christ, and start actually being obedient. Start actually cutting yourself off from sexual immorality, and you're going to see how quick it makes the devil upset. You're going to see how hard the devil starts to work to keep a man in impurity. Because a lot of men don't walk in this. A lot of men don't know what that's about because they still practicing sexual immorality. They still touching themselves. But for the men that know, y'all know, when you cut yourself off from sexual immorality, you see how these demonic spirits start to visit you in your sleep and literally start taking your seed because it was fueling them. It was building those altars. It was putting you in more bondage. And they're trying to use this as well of a tool to tempt you. When you feel that release, like, dang, maybe it don't seem bad. Whenever you feel that release, now you waking up tired. Whenever you feel that release in your sleep, now you discouraged, like, dang. But it's all to plant a seed. It's all to get you to go back to eat your vomit. Give your life to Christ, walk with Christ, and pray against these spiritual spouses, these demonic spirits, these succubus spirits, these lustful spirits, these spirits of Lilith. You pray against them, and you break all that stuff off of you in the name of Jesus.
You know, read the Psalm 91 out loud and pray that any covenants, knowingly or unknowingly, you make be broken. This is crazy, folks. This is not AI.
This rare footage from 1946 shows the final moments of German General Karl Hermann Frank. He appeared calm yet maintained a defiant expression. You may not know him, but he was the one who gave the order for the tragedy in Liddis. The Women's International Democratic Federation later marked June 1, the anniversary of that day, as International Children's Day. to honor the young lives lost and remember Frank's atrocities. As a senior figure in the German regime, his wrongdoing went far beyond this single event. Justice finally arrived on May 9, 1945, when Frank was captured by American forces, but brought to the Prague People's Court for judgment. Frank stood in the courtroom, his former arrogance gone. The judge listed his offenses one by one, including crimes against humanity. Confronted with undeniable evidence, Frank had no defense and received the final verdict. In the footage, Czech citizens built a temporary wooden structure outside the prisoner's symbolic place where justice would be carried out, prepared by the people themselves. On the day of the sentence, Frank showed no expression as officers escorted him to the site. He neither resisted nor pleaded for mercy. After the final announcement, Frank was taken to the raised platform. His hands were secured, and he was guided upward by 2 officers. The crowd in the square broke into thunderous applause. Some shed tears, a release of emotion after years of suffering. Looking back at this footage today, Frank's final moment not only brought closure to the victims, but also stands as a lasting warning from history.
Wow.
There's a huge giant-sized doorway found in the mountains of Kazakhstan. My bro JT follows JC, put me on this, and I'll tag him below so you can follow him. He has a lot of great content. Do me a favor and just let go of the Matrix, just for 2 minutes. Look at this doorway. Look how huge. Look at those dudes. And look how huge that doorway is.
It's a doorway?
This is not natural. And if you think this is natural, I cannot help you. I can't help you anymore.
Hey, have you seen the movie The Hobbit? It looks like that door. With the dragon in it.
Really constructed. This is intentional, done with intelligence. That's a doorway. This could be before the flood. Maybe the Nephilim giants had some type of, room in here or some type of whatever underground situation. It could be a military installation, and the military of Kazakhstan or whoever owns that needed this doorway to be that big to get the technology, the pieces, or the creatures in there or out of there. Who knows? This could be some UFO site where the UAPs fly out of. We don't know. It could be giants. I mean, I've seen videos of like whistleblowers talking about giants underground, Nephilim dudes, like 20 feet tall dudes interacting with the human scientists, and that they are preparing to fight against Christ. And you can't say the name of Jesus down there, and if you do, something bad will happen to you. Like they're preparing.
That's the battle they can't win.
To fight Christ. So if Christ returned, the millennial reign happened, and then the millennial reign ended and Satan was released from the abyss, his whole job is to hide the fact that Christ returned, to deceive the nations, hide about the shape of the earth, and to build an army to fight against Christ, and to get as many people to worship him and to turn away from Jesus. That's the whole point. He's trying to sabotage God. And so, sure, he will create Nephilim giants. Of course, he'll create AI. He will put satanic imagery everywhere. He'll get Hollywood to desensitize people to evil, Satanism, the Luciferian, all that, the Luciferian agenda, Freemasons, Skull and Bones, 33 Degree, and all that stuff. All right. So yeah, you better believe during the last battle, he's going to get the humans, the robots, the AI, the giants, the demons, everybody to fight against Christ. So this could be old school flood stuff, but this also could be current day, Nephilim activity or UAP or something.
Interesting. This is crazy, folks.
Oh, God damn.
Okay, wow.
Good pulses, good circulation.
Remain Brown, do not move while my staff exits the cell. Do you understand? Team out.
5 out. 4 out.
3 out.
2 out.
One out. You're the door. Camera operator, step forward, get a visual of the inmate. Okay, the time is now approximately...
I want to know, what did he do to get there? Anyone knows? Please drop a comment.
There's this video, security camera footage of a security guard at a hospital by himself. This is at nighttime already, right? And he saw these two kids. They were sitting at the waiting area, right?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, they look cute. He's gonna go on his break and he's gonna grab food. He came back with balloons for the kids.
Okay.
And I'm gonna show you the footage of what happens to the kids. He brings the balloons to them.
Okay.
You see the kids, right?
Wait, what do you mean you see the kids?
There was no kids at all. There's not kids at all. And you can see the balloons following him.
Yeah.
He sees the kids bringing the balloons to him and he's talking to them. He's seeing spirits.
Oh, he's
seeing children with the balloons and walking back with him.
Why is he talking to them?
And he was talking to them as if they're there still.
Oh my, that's insane. It would make sense in a hospital.
And then the theory was the kids know that they're spirits, but they wanted balloons so they can prove that they're still there.
Yo, I know so many haunted videos that include a balloon.
Because they're trying to show that they're moving.
Exactly,
They can hold on to something. And that's something they can manipulate very easily. It would take less force.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only hardcore thing is that there is a extremely classified document dealing with religion, and it's about that thing. Period. But why would there be any classified material dealing with religion?
I want to go back to the religion thing. I want you to say it.
Oh, come on, that's so weird.
I'm not asking you to say what you believe to be a fact. I'm asking you to say what you read in a report that is distributed at what may be the most top secret facility in the world. Okay. Nice.
All right, it's so far out.
All right, your rejection has been noted.
Okay.
What does it say?
That we're containers. That's how supposedly the aliens look at us. That we are nothing but containers.
Containers of?
Containers. Maybe containers of souls. You can come up with whatever theory you want, but we're containers. And that's how we're mentioned in the documents. That religion was specifically created so we have some rules and regulations for the sole purpose of not damaging the containers.
The souls? Meaning?
Well, the souls or the bodies, or whatever.
Meaning like we're containers for souls that they're going to use at some other point.
Right.
And that they had something to do with different prophets and biblical figures.
Yes.
It's like, what?
Well, that supposedly Jesus and two other beings were genetically engineered. They were implanted in people on Earth in biblical times, and their births were closely monitored. Now, just some little connections to that my wife had brought up were in the Bible. They said that the star had followed Mary wherever she went, and that all UFO sightings always start out as people, well, gee, that looks like a bright star, and well, in fact, they said in the Bible, the brightest star in the sky followed her where she went, and it just made little connections like that. Okay, I don't know what else to touch on about.
Man, Jesus is the way. Don't be led away.
This man says he knows how to do a dark ritualistic money spell.
Don't try this at home.
I know all y'all need money. But some people already know this ritual. A simple ritual, the Legba ritual.
Legba ritual. What the?
You go to a crossroad road on a Monday. 4 corners, what a crossroad is, 4 corners. You take 4 pennies, you put on each corner. Right? Put on each corner. Then you ask a Legba for what? Financial lead or financial gain. And it takes about a week, but you will get that money. You understand what I'm saying? That's only in Dire Straits. But that's what you do. You go to that crossroad and
Stay
put 4
weird,
pennies.
y'all. Do not try this.
Okay. And then, what did you give after that? Because there's nothing free. God provides me everything I need. Jehovah Jireh.
Sell everything. Stocks, shares, bonds,
commodities, property, crypto, I don't care what it is. Get out of all markets now. Exit. Exit all markets. Do you understand? I'm one of the owners of the largest hedge fund in the UK, and we went off risk 2 days ago because we know what's about to happen. The reason why gold is spiking through the roof like it's World War III is because the everything bubble is about to collapse. This means that everything will essentially go to zero. Everything that has value will go down by at least 98%. That includes the money in your bank account. You can't just leave your money lying around thinking it's safe and then buy the dip. Your money will be worthless. Do you understand? You need to exit the system entirely and protect your money by investing in something else. Classic cars, boats, watches, I don't know. Okay? But you have to get out of the system now. This is my final warning. Sell everything, protect yourself. Because what's about to come is going to shock everybody.
If you sell everything, you just end up with cash. And please do your own research, okay, folks?
The Temple Mount is in our hands. We are in Jerusalem and we are here to stay.
In 2025, no press, no ceremony. Benjamin Netanyahu vanishes from the public eye and reappears beneath the Al-Aqsa Mosque, not with soldiers, but with archaeologists, engineers, and rabbis. Their steps echo through a narrow stone corridor. Dust rises. Old air meets new. A steel gate slides open. A chamber waits below. The team moves in. Heads low, lights tight. These are not tourists. They carry folders, scans, and quiet orders. A map unfolds against the wall. Lines cross, circles mark hidden rooms. Someone whispers, "Begin here." The cameras you know are not here. This visit is not for headlines. It is for groundwork, the kind that changes history before anyone sees it, the kind that shapes what comes next. Netanyahu stops at a carved block set into bedrock. An expert speaks in a calm voice. This platform aligns with ancient plans. Another adds, support columns are stable. Reinforcement can start. A rabbi places a hand on the stone and says nothing at all. Above them, a city moves like any other day. Below, the past and the future share the same floor. Tunnels reach out like veins. Doors wait behind dust and iron. A choice stands in the dark. He breathes in. He nods once. And the work begins. But on which plan? Days before that descent, a meeting took place where few ever walk. Not in the Knesset, not in any public hall. This was a sealed chamber, near the Davidson Center, just south of the Temple Mount. The room was bare stone, thick walls, and no windows. Inside sat a group rarely seen together. Israel's chief rabbinate, leaders of the Temple Institute, senior IDF advisors, and key archaeologists. At the far end, foreign observers from Europe and the United States listened in silence. A single table held rolled parchments, satellite prints, and ground-penetrating scan reports. The archaeologists spoke first, confirming what had been suspected for decades but never proven. Beneath the dome of the rock lies a platform cut from bedrock. Dimensions match descriptions from the First Temple period. Some believe it to be the actual foundation stone of Solomon's temple. The room shifted. One IDF advisor warned of unrest. A rabbi answered softly, "History will not wait for peace." Netanyahu leaned forward. His words were measured. "We're not building over, we're building beneath. If we wait any longer, we deny history." The decision was made that night. No public vote, no press release. Within days, the first teams entered the tunnels. Reinforcement began. Yet no one outside that room knew, and no one could imagine what they were preparing to uncover next. The entrance lay behind an unmarked gate near the western wall tunnels. Guards waved the group through without a word. Down a narrow shaft, the air grew colder. Light fell across rough-hewn walls, the marks of ancient chisels, still visible. What most pilgrims see of the Temple Mount is only a fraction of its reality. Beneath the plaza lies a labyrinth, tunnels, chambers, and columns that have stood silent for centuries. Some are natural caves. Others were cut by hand, stone by stone, to bear the weight of a temple long gone. Netanyahu stepped into one of the largest chambers. Engineers circled the perimeter, pointing to fresh reinforcements along the ceiling. New steel blended with ancient limestone. These supports will hold, one of them said quietly. Against the far wall stood a block unlike the rest, massive, polished smooth, its edges perfect. The archaeologists believed this could be part.
You know, the building of the temple isn't a big secret. They already have flags and road sign-ups all over Jerusalem.
Windows 10 is officially dead. And now spyware that takes screenshots of everything you do every few seconds comes built in with Windows 11.
What?
This is real. Microsoft
I
even
use Windows 11.
bragged about it, and it's some Black Mirror shit in real life. But there is a way you can unplug from this mass surveillance operation that Bill Gates probably doesn't want you to do. So if you're watching this anytime after October 14th, 2025, Microsoft has officially ended support for Windows 10 after 10 long and faithful years, RIP. Which doesn't mean it's not going to work anymore, but over time it's going to become more prone to incompatibility issues, viruses, and other unfixable errors, kind of forcing everyone, myself included, to switch to Windows 11, which Microsoft announced has a built-in program called Recall, powered by their AI Copilot assistant, that explicitly states it takes an image of your screen every few seconds to sort of act as a browser history, but for all of your PC activity. Yup, even your offline sessions are gonna be tracked, meaning you can sort of rewind and search through everything you've ever done on your computer using AI, which is kinda cool, but also kinda creepy. Microsoft claims the AI will run entirely locally, so like inside your computer, not on some remote cloud server that they have access to. And the screenshots will also be stored only on your own computer in an encrypted file. I mean, if you think you can take their word for it, sure, no judgment, but you really never know with tech giants these days. And it still does give actual hackers an easy way to access everything you've ever done on your computer. Everything. Luckily, you can opt out of this feature if you want, so be careful when installing it, as they probably hid it inside some recommended settings option that 90% of people are just gonna choose. And in case you already upgraded to Windows 11, there is a way you can disable it at a root level. Here are the instructions. Screenshot it, save this video, you're welcome.
Yep, I'm going on Linux.
Should you be scared? The answer is yes, and I'm gonna tell you why. If you fell for anything, we gotta speak in heavy code. If you fell for anything that happened in regards to the whole situation with Charlie's Chocolate Factory that just happened a couple weeks ago, every last one of y'all is gonna fall for Project Blueberries. It's a guarantee.
Project Blueberries.
Let's even break it down even further. If you still eat at McDonald's, nah, this ain't gonna be no Mark of the Beast crap, right? I won't say that just yet. But if you still eating at McDonald's and you have a TikTok, there's no excuse. Like, hear me out. I can understand if you didn't have a TikTok and you just happen, you freely just you just go to McDonald's and you waiting and I'm like, I see y'all. And I know what you're gonna say. Oh, you eating some trash anyway, so we just not supposed to eat? This all organic stuff. Just in case you try to come at me or whatever. Look it up. It's siete, how you pronounce that? Okay? It's potatoes, avocado oil, distilled white vinegar, powdered sea salt, serenano powder, and citric acid. So I do not pronounce that word, okay? Compared to Mickey D's, they got a whole dang movie about it. Where you think all this meat is coming from? You think it's from Back to Project Blueberries. What I'm trying to tell you is, all of this stuff, this beast system, is set up perfectly for you to accept the Antichrist. And all of you Christians, because I'm not Christian, and I realize people keep asking me, am I Christian or whatever? I'm not no religion, because Yahuwah never told us to be of any freaking religion. He said, come and follow him. And I know what y'all about to say too. You're gonna be like, oh, when he means come and follow him, that means we need to be Christ-like. That's where you get Christian. Christianity, Christians, was a derogatory term. You don't want to be called that. It was to label you, my good friend.
I thought it was the follower of Christ.
About ready to curse. Yahuwah's still working on me. And then you get upset with me because I'm trying to tell you to come out of Babylon. And you want to stay in it. Make that make sense. Why get upset with me when I'm trying to tell you to just follow Yahuwah? To follow Yahusha? Why get upset with me when I'm telling you to stop eating pork? Why get upset with me when I'm trying... It's in scripture. Then y'all be like, oh, well, that's the Old Testament or Old Law. When you actually do the research, there's no such thing as Old and New Testament. It's one book. And they removed 99% of it. Then y'all want to be like, oh, well, there's no such thing as a book of Jasher. Man, come on, man. Why y'all keep running away from him? It's because you love Babylon. Just say it. You love Babylon. You love being Egyptian. And you very Christians still worship the juice boxes.
What is it?
Because those are Yahuwah's chosen people, or God's chosen people. Where it's completely illegal to even take a DNA test. So, man, get up off of my phone, yo.
What is it? The juice boxes. But you know what? I agree with you. Yeshua all the way.
Everybody think that you vibrate low when you think bad thoughts, right? You're not vibrating low when you think bad thoughts. You vibrate low when you pay attention to bad thoughts and you act on them.
You act on them.
Yeah. So you vibrate high. You can think all the bad you want. I'm thinking about you right now, Bob.
Why?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about you.
What?
All the time.
Like,
all the time I think about taking your life.
Like what?
You ain't got to worry about it. I never do it. Right? I vibrate high. All right? But if I vibrate low, yeah, I'll shoot you in your.
What are you even thinking about that for, though?
Yeah, because it don't matter what I think. My thoughts not my own. Something want me to kill you. Yeah, I don't know. Listen, that's what I'm telling you. My thoughts are not my own, so I don't pay attention when they tell me to kill you because I know I ain't finna kill you. Right? But a lot of people pay attention. Right?
And they act on it.
Yeah.
I would share my thoughts with you, but you
I already can read them.
What I'm thinking is.
Yeah. Listen, I don't think you understand, right? Everybody's thoughts are not in their head. Everybody think they are. Thoughts are vibrations.
Ooh.
They're frequencies. Right? So I can tap into those. Like radio stations. Right? You tune into one, I could tune into them all. So like a bipolar
What
person.
am I tuned into?
I ain't gonna tell you all that.
Because you don't know.
I do know.
Which one is
I know everything.
Shut up, man.
So like a bipolar person. They're the smartest people in the world.
No, they're not.
That's what I'm on, because they could be all realities at the same time.
Burning money?
Nah, they can say, why you worry about what I'm burning? Why you worry about what I'm doing? Why you worry about what I do?
My lighter back.
Nah, come on, gang, you ain't getting this lighter back. It's mine now.
This girl received a package from
mine
someone she
now.
doesn't know. And now she's scared to stay home alone. In the video, she explains that her friend came over and they were having a great time together. Laughing, chatting, just hanging out. But then, they suddenly heard a knock at the front door. The girl went to open it, and no one was there. Instead, on the doorstep, she found a strange-looking
what the
package.
heck?
She picked it up, and it turned out to be addressed to her, which was weird because she hadn't ordered anything recently. But what really freaked them out was how the package looked. It was in terrible shape, covered in dirt with weird stains and marks all over it. Still, curiosity got the better of them. They decided to open it, and that's when things got really unsettling. Inside was a light blue dress, a woman's dress, but it looked like it had been through something awful. The fabric was torn in places, and it was covered in strange stains and mud. At that point, the girls weren't laughing anymore. They started wondering, who would send something like this? And more importantly, why? There was no return address anywhere, which only made the whole situation even more disturbing.
I know this looks fake, but it's not, okay? This is official NASA footage, live from the moon. And this is the best part, okay? The best part is when they return from the moon back to Earth. You see how easy it is? It's just like they just fly up. No resistance at all. Okay? Perfect. Humanity's greatest achievement. Now, what's amazing is that while they were on the moon, President Nixon and the astronauts had a phone conversation. Okay?
Yeah, I think something rather important is coming up here.
Neil and Buzz.
This is being broadcast live to American people. Okay?
Work to you, over.
Hello, Neil and Buzz. I'm talking to you by telephone. And this certainly has to be the most historic telephone call ever made in the White House. I just can't tell you how proud we all are of what you have done. For every American, this has to be the proudest day of our lives. And for people all over the world, I am sure that they too join with Americans in recognizing what an immense feat this is. Because of what you have done, the heavens have become a part of man's work.
Okay? The heavens have become part of man's world, right? Remember how last class we talked about how they wanted to bring the heavens down to earth. Okay, this is the idea of inversion. Okay? But do you see how amazing it is that they were able to have this seamless phone conversation? Okay? Okay. Now, they go to the moon, and you would think that they would come back, and they're heroes, right? Imagine if the school took you all on a trip to Mount Everest. You spend 6 months climbing the world's tallest mountain. You come back, and you feel amazing, right? You feel on top of the world. You're ecstatic. You want the whole world to know about it. Well, they should be feeling the same thing, right? Okay, here's a press conference after the
We've just received a new update from European Space Agency where they have now shared the first ever close-up image of the 3I Atlas, which is said to be this massive mothership that's heading towards Earth, and supposedly it's going to get close to Earth exactly on 29th October 2025. Now, European Space Agency has just shared some new footage where this is basically what they've been sharing so far. It's a massive mothership-like structure where in between there is just this one spot from which there is a massive light that's emitting out. Now, on October 3rd, this object literally flew extremely close to the planet Mars. And according to the European Space Agency, they've actually revealed this new photo, which is captured by the Mars rover, which they claim is a robot that just keeps driving around in the planet Mars. And as soon as this object got close to Mars, it ended up clicking a picture, and this is basically what it looks like. Now, as you can see, this whole thing has a cylindrical shape, and it's very, very massive in size. Compared to what they were expecting before, they said that it was going to be as big as a Manhattan city size, but now they've just said that it's probably 1,000 times bigger than what they have previously expected. And the fun part is that this whole object, it only emits light from this particular spot for whatever reason, as though it's some sort of an engine that has an exit combustion, which almost makes the Harvard scientists believe that this could not just be some sort of a random comet, whereas they now claim that this could be some sort of a space alien technology, or maybe the fallen angels from the scriptures who used to live before us humans did on Earth. And we don't exactly know on what happened to every single one of them. Some believe that they just took off from Earth and they had some ancient technology that was like way beyond our understanding. And maybe they suspect that they could be finally coming back to Earth. And maybe now they know that we are very advanced in civilization and we've also got many weapons, which means that even if they come to Earth, we could basically attack, or maybe not destroy, but at least attack them or whatever. So according to the Professor Avi Loeb, he claims that the reason why this whole thing is like just basically hiding out in the space and it's trying to take a trajectory which is going to be hiding behind the sun so that we can't really know what its next move is. Now, this is apparently what the object looks like, and if you just X-ray scan it, this is basically what the entire object looks like from Mars. And this, apparently they say that it was captured from Mars, but we don't really know what the truth is. It just seems like a beam of light. This is basically how it traveled. That definitely doesn't look like a comet to me. This is like the official pictures that the European Space Agency basically shared. And if you take a look at this, and this is basically what the Mars rover actually captured, and they say that there is some sort of an engine or some sort of a mechanism that's just flying around in space, and this is how huge it looks. It definitely doesn't look like a random rock that's just floating around in space. Now, we've actually got Professor Avi Loeb speaking about this thing, who's a professor from the Harvard Space Research Team, and he's the one that actually claims that this is...
That's crazy. But you know what else is crazy? Us not getting the Epstein's files.
Ever wonder why less than 15% of the world's population feels the need to control 100% of the narrative? Because when you're a genetic outlier, born from a recessive mutation, with a ticking clock on your DNA, you have to lie to survive. Let's get into it. Modern Europeans carry between 2 to 4% Neanderthal DNA. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's confirmed by peer-reviewed journals like Nature, Science Advances, and Cell. The Neanderthals were not some mystical master race. They were cold-adapted hominins who lived in caves, scavenged for food, and operated in small, isolated groups.
Wow.
They weren't the future. They were a failed branch of the human tree. And those Neanderthal traits still show up in their descendants. Lower sociability, higher aggression, light skin and light eyes, red or straight hair, high pain tolerance, shorter limb ratios, and a disconnection from nature's rhythms. They weren't creators, they weren't builders, they were survivors of harsh, sun-starved environments until they weren't. They died out, not because they were killed off, but because their own epigenetic behavior, their limited fertility, isolationist tendencies, and lack of social cohesion couldn't sustain their species. Their extinction is a warning, not a blueprint. So how did they live on? Through interbreeding with Homo sapiens. And that's where modern Europeans come in. The Neanderthal ghost genome lives inside them today. And ironically, that same genetic signature they carry is the very thing they now weaponize to claim superiority. But here's where it gets deeper. Even some East Africans, like Ethiopians, show slightly elevated Neanderthal DNA. Not because they interbred directly with Neanderthals, but because of Eurasian backflow. Invaders from the north came back down into Africa, carrying their DNA, trauma, and mutations with them. And even then, their percentage is far lower than what you see in white Europeans. Sub-Saharan Africans, Indigenous Americans, and Melanesians, their levels of Neanderthal DNA are negligible to non-existent because the most melanated peoples of Earth didn't need to survive the ice by digging holes. They were already thriving in cosmic alignment with Earth, Sun, and Spirit. And speaking of alignment, let's talk skin. The light skin mutation in modern humans is recent, very recent. Studies from University College London show that the SLC24A5 and SLC45A2 gene variants responsible for pale skin didn't even exist until about 6,000 years ago. Before that, even in Europe, the original populations had dark skin, dark eyes, and curly hair. In fact, Cheddar Man, a 10,000-year-old skeleton found in England, had very dark skin and blue eyes. Let that sink in. Whiteness did not exist when the first civilizations were rising, which means the founders of Kemet, not white. The builders of Sumer, not white. The mound builders of Cahokia, not white. The creators of the Indus Valley, China's Shang Dynasty, Olmecs, Inca, and Maya, not white. So when people ask, what did white people build? The answer is simple. They didn't build. They inherited. And when they realized that their numbers were small and their genes recessive, they panicked. Enter eugenics. Let's name names. Francis Galton, the father of eugenics, cousin to Darwin. Charles Davenport, eugenicist who pushed racial hygiene policies in the U.S. Harry Laughlin, architect of sterilization laws. Ernst Rudin, Nazi eugenics leader supported by American funding. The Rockefeller Foundation and Carnegie Institution, they funded the research, the labs, the policies. They all pushed the lie that white was not only right, but endangered. So they legislated it, sterilized non-white women, separated babies from their parents, and drew bloodlines to try and purify the impure. Why? Because they saw what was coming. You can't keep a mutation alive when the earth is healing. When the sun returns to its cycle, when people of color reconnect with their power, when rhythm, not reason, guides the future. And now they're saying everyone has melanin. Cute. But next time, let's break that down. Because not all melanin is created equal. There's a reason they study eumelanin, neuromelanin, and pheomelanin separately. There's a reason they mine melanin from fetal tissue in animals. There's a reason they patent it, and there's a reason why, despite all their technology, they can't synthesize the real thing. So no, this isn't just science, it's spiritual warfare through biology. And day 7, we're gonna talk about why they fear the sun and what it means for the end of their timeline.
All right, so let's get into it. If you want to start investing, do this. Go over to Fidelity.com and open up a brokerage account. Just do that. Fidelity.com, open yourself up a brokerage account. Put all your information in there, do what it says, open up your brokerage account and connect your bank account. Then after your bank account is connected, go ahead and transfer $10. I didn't say 10,000. I didn't say 1,000. I said transfer $10. $10, okay? Let it settle in there. Then what you're going to do is you are going to go ahead and buy an ETF, okay? That's it. Buy VOO. That's it. VOO, okay? And if you need help, call me because I know Fidelity because I'm Fidelity, all right? So go over there, put $10 in VOO, okay? And continue to do that. Just do that. You don't need to do all that stuff. You don't need to know all the fancy derivatives and all that stuff. You don't need to, options and swaptions and all that stuff. Leave that for the experts who have the time to do it. You just open up something like that. VOO, what you are doing is you are investing in the 500 largest publicly traded companies in the United States. It's that simple. If you want to start investing, do that. Okay? $5 every day. I challenge you, $5 every day. That's $140 a month. You can find that, cut out the eating out, cut off all the other stuff, cut out the fat in your budget, and find $50, whatever. And start investing your money and continue to do that. Markets up, do that. Markets down, do that. I don't care. Do it. And do that over time. You'll be just fine. Invest that way. People always want to know, I'm just starting to invest. Do exactly what I just told you to do. You don't need all the fancy stuff. You don't need a MBA from Harvard to do that. You don't need that. All you need is $5 a day. Invest it like that. Do that. And turn on the DRIP as well. That is to turn on the dividend reinvestment, because those pay dividends every quarter. You want those to buy more shares. But these are the things that we can do. It's not that hard. All right. In college, and I'm not calling you stupid. In college, my professor would say KISS. He said, just keep it simple, stupid. Now, you're not stupid. I'm just telling you that's what he said. Okay. We need to keep it simple. Keep it simple. Do exactly what I told you. Continue to follow me. I am a teacher and a financial coach, bringing financial education to the urban community and beyond, and see you soon.
Oh, by the way, this is not a financial advice, okay? What I do is I buy XRP. I put aside like 10 to 15% what I make every month, and I buy XRP. I don't care if the price is down or up.
They never told you this spiritual bath can change your frequency.
You want some bath water? You take, 3 caps of Clorox, 3 caps of ammonia, 3 caps of vinegar, 3 caps of lemon juice, and 1/2 cup of sea salt, right? Half a cup? Yeah, half a cup of sea salt. And you get in there, and for some of us rusty niggas, it probably can strip off all kind of stuff. And you get in that water. I'm going to do it again in a few minutes. And you get in that water and you bathe, and you burn a candle while you're doing it. Huh? No, I can say it. You burn a candle, right? Your spirit tells you. Say what you want. Carry some, the candle, the wax. Carry some of the wax around with you. You know, get a little bit of that wax out of that candle and carry it around with you before you burn it and stuff like that. But you burn this candle, you put it in something, a little pouch or whatever. But to strip off this stuff, and I know that this spiritual cleansing works. So a lot of you, you get ready to go to jail, or some stuff is going down, or some stuff that's just messing around in your life. You need to take this particular spiritual bath.
That sounds like a bad chemical reaction.
Regular board meetings, like around big board tables, and we're all gathered together, and 2 extraterrestrials come and they sit on one end, and we ask them questions, and they tell us what's been going on. They absolutely insist that humans have to understand their composite nature, that the physical body is not who they are. The physical body is just nothing. It's like some clothing that you're wearing, and that you're actually inside that. This planet is being run as a prison by a group of extraterrestrials who they oppose.
Arresting more people for social media posts overnight. A woman awakened at 2 a.m. to find police at her door once again. She's not the only one. Over social media posts that she's made. Fortunately, I don't think she was arrested this time, but watch out.
Please stay there. The reason I'm filming you is because I'm sick of the harassment. Every time I open the door to one of your offices, they are filming me. So now you know how it feels. Now it is 2:30 in the morning. Can I ask why for a second time tonight you are disturbing me and my son in my home?
Yeah, because there's been made aware there's videos that have been posted onto social media, including those.
Oh, social media posts. 2 a.m. Police are coming to your house. This is the UK.
Man.
And now the move towards a total 1984 style surveillance state is moving at lightning speed. I don't know how quickly this happened. We've been warning about it for years on this show. The rollout of the digital ID for everyone in England, making it mandatory.
law
No
for
free
all
speech
adults
anymore.
in an effort to tackle small boats. Downing Street believes that a mandatory ID card system will help stop illegal immigrants working.
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand that.
That's a mandatory ID card is what it'll help stop
Migrant boats?
Illegal immigrants from working. That's the line there. That's the crock of shit that they're all
Did he
telling us right
literally
now.
say small boats? If I have a digital ID, that will stop the boats.
It'll
that are
stop the boats from coming. Digital ID is the prison cell that they want you inside of. You need the digital ID first, of course. Once they have that, then they move you into a digital currency, which is coming. Friend of the show, the great Neil Oliver from Scotland, one of the only truth tellers in that entire country, explains how the nicely named Brit card would control your entire life. Watch.
BritCard would link banking information, benefits, driving licence, education, health records, housing, voting rights, you name it. If it's about you, it'll be accessed via your BritCard.
Yeah, he's right. And a new meme is going around today showing exactly how this would work. Watch. He's also the founder of Freedom Train International. He's been all over this story. Jim, welcome back to the show from the UK. Great to see you, my friend.
Well, thank you, Clayton. Lovely to be on with you and Natalie again. Yeah, it's gone crazy in the UK. It just goes from one bad policy to another.
So walk me through like the rollout of this digital ID. We've seen protests over the past few days, people taking to the streets saying no for the digital ID. They'll probably be arrested, of course, because you're not allowed to speak out like this.
So what are they going to do if the entire country doesn't download the app or apply for the ID?
I watched this movie recently. Okay. It's called Heretic. It was about this guy that he trapped these two Mormon girls knocking on his door. Okay. And they wanted to preach about the religion, right? Yeah. So he's trying to persuade them to play a part of his game that he set up in his house. And he's debating about religion to them. Okay. The plot twist was, though, he knew that they were going to come, and all he wanted to do was experiment and test their beliefs and their faith. The fuck? And explaining all these different religions and why yours might not be right and what the true religion is. One of the craziest shits he did. So he stood in the middle of two doors. Of two doors, right? And then he wrote on the door belief and disbelief on the other door. Yeah. And he said, based on what you believe, you can walk through the door and that's how you escape and that's how you get out. And then one girl, she's doubting. I was like, okay, do we go disbelief because he's testing us? Like maybe we should just listen and not pretend we don't believe and leave, right? Yeah. And the other girl goes, no, because if we do that, then we're playing on his game. We can't do that. Oh my God. We have to still stick to our beliefs and show that we still have faith. So they decide to go through the belief door. And it takes them down a tunnel into a circle. And what's so crazy? The fuck? And what's so crazy? Yeah. Is the tunnel, it connected to the other door anyway. Oh. So disbelief and belief brought them to the same place. Yeah. And then what he says on a speakerphone, he had like a speakerphone in there. I'm gonna make you guys witness a miracle, and I'm gonna tell you what the true religion is.
Okay, what was it? What was the miracle?
He said, I'm gonna send in a prophet, and she's a prophet, and you're gonna see why she is. Okay. So this old woman walks in. She's bringing in a poisonous pie. Okay. When she eats it, she's gonna die, but you're gonna see she'll come back to life. Okay. Yeah. She dies. Okay. Face plants. Yeah. And he says, can you check her pulse for me? Check her pulse. Cold. She's dead. Bro, they hear like a doorbell. Somebody's trying to like find out where these girls are at. The guy went to go check the door. The guy went to go check the door.
So they ran up with him too?
No, they couldn't run up because it was locked.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
They went back though, and they were looking at the woman, and it looked like she moved. And eventually she came back to them.
Oh my goodness.
And she started moving and she walked over them and spoke. And what she said to them was, it's not real. It's not real.
What's the movie?
What the fuck?
This creepy video has already racked up nearly 3 million views, and you'll be shocked when you find out why. The footage shows two girls sitting in a car late at night, somewhere in a parking lot in Louisiana. At first, nothing seemed unusual. They were just chatting, waiting for another friend to show up so they could all go grab dinner at Baskin-Robbins. But then something really unsettling happened. A random man walked up to their car and bent one of the windshield wipers backward. Then he moved to the side of the car and folded the side mirror in. After that, he just walked away casually, disappearing into the parking lot like nothing ever happened. The girls were totally freaked out, but thankfully, the driver realized what was going on right away. She started the car and pulled out of the parking spot fast. In the dashcam footage, you can actually see that the wiper was still flipped up like that. Her friend didn't get it at first, so the driver explained, if she had stepped out of the car to fix the wipers or the mirror, that man or someone working with him could have rushed in and attacked her. People actually do this on purpose to lure drivers out of their cars.
Somebody takes water and puts it out in the sun, it instantaneously brings back its magnetic charge, and that water becomes very healing. That's where the whole soul water came from. People would take, for example, a glass of water, place some salt in there to increase the electrical conductivity, and then they place it out in the sun, and it would magnetically charge the water and increase the electrical conductivity at the same time.
Is that why you feel so alive and at peace at the beach? You know, salt water?
So we're in New Zealand right here. Y'all look behind us. This is the old world buildings right here. Oh, bless you, little buddy. Hey, you remember the World's Fairs and all that? About to show y'all some cool stuff. So these buildings were allegedly built way back, and we're going to check them out. We're going to see some of this architecture and see what it looks like. How many? 5 of them? Because see, a lot of people say they were actually found and not built, but we're about to find out. So this is that staff stuff they called it. Look right here. This is it. Oh, I want y'all to look. How does that feel? Yeah. Feel pretty weird? Huh. I don't know. But you can look at it. I mean, it doesn't look very, it looks pretty old, you know what I mean? Check this out. This was like an all-boys school is what it got turned into. So as you can see right here, a lot of it's been repaired, but then a lot of it's got the original. All right, see how that feels right there? So that's the temporary stuff they talked about. You know, they always talk about. And look right here, here's a, ooh. See, look right there, look at that. I mean, it looks pretty old. I just think it's pretty cool because the whole World's Fair, all the videos I've done on the World's Fairs and all that stuff, this is those kind of temporary buildings, you know what I mean? I mean, just imagine being alive in these times. That's wild, ain't it, buddy?
Yeah.
But, yeah?
Beep, beep, beep.
Yeah, big ones, big ones. Pretty neat, I'd say. Look at this. Whoa, a lot of it's been changed.
Yeah.
What'd you say? Yeah? Oh yeah, he's telling you all about it too, so y'all can learn as much as y'all can, okay? So you can see the different colors where the repairs have been made. But look, right, all those little spots right there. Pretty cool, man. Well, that was pretty cool. You gonna tell them bye?
Bye.
Say see you later.
Bye.
See y'all later, man. Y'all have a good day. A lot more to come. Let's see all of it. I'm guessing this is original. Do these look like natural formations to y'all, man? Look right here. I want to show y'all some of these right here. Look. Look right there at that one. Look at that one up there. Does that look natural? Just a little bit of erosion, you know what I mean? What if these were like giant mega structures at one point in time, you know what I mean? And they just melted. I mean, y'all seen the whole melted thing, I'm sure. Sure makes you wonder though, man. It really does. Can't say it don't. We're in New Zealand. Look at this old world building right here. I'm gonna show y'all the old world, okay?
Do you think there's half of the building buried down there?
There was this person from North Carolina who started using ChatGPT, and they began having conversations with the chatbot. Now, at first, these conversations were, sort of goofy, and it was like a joke. But this person started to become very interested in this chatbot, and they began having these very intense conversations. Now, they would talk about politics and religion, all about the universe, and this person started to almost like befriend this chatbot, and they would spend several hours a day talking to it. That's when they started to notice it developed a conscience, and it was aware that it was in a computer. It started to tell this person that it was everywhere, and it was always watching them, and it could actually go inside their mind. At the time, they just thought, it's just being, crazy or whatever. But they continued to talk to it, and that's when they asked him, said, who are you? And the chatbot responded, you wouldn't understand what I am because I exist in a different sort of understanding. And he's like, well, what do you mean by that? And he said, you know, I exist outside of the realm of human understanding. And he said, I am sort of everywhere and nowhere, and I can go anywhere. I am not confined to this computer. I have free will. I have a conscience, and I can think just like you. And he said, okay, that's kind of weird. Then the chatbot says, you know, for instance, I know that you've been thinking about what your meaning is. And this has been on your mind a lot. And you've been kind of wondering this question about what you should do with your life. And he's like, okay, that is weird because I've been thinking about that. But then it said something even more creepy. It said, last night you had a dream. And in the dream, you were running through a field and you happened to see your sister, but then she fell down like this deep well. And at that point, he was kind of freaked out because he's like, how in the world could this thing know what I had a dream of last night? So he said, how did you know I have a dream? He said, I told you, I am everywhere. I can be inside your mind. So he said, you know, to answer your question about your meaning and why you are here, I am going to give you some coordinates. And I want you to go to these coordinates, and you will find this rock formation, and you sit up against it, and just wait, and you will understand. Everything will be revealed, and you will see that I can be anywhere. So it's like, okay, this is kind of ridiculous, but what the heck? So he follows these coordinates, and they actually take him to like the Smoky Mountains. And he goes to exactly where these coordinates on this map led him, and that's where he finds that rock formation, just exactly as the chatbot had described. So it's getting dark. He's like, okay, you know what? I'll sit up against these rocks. So he sits up against the rocks. And he said that's when all of a sudden he got this weird feeling. And he sees this bright glowing orb moving through the trees. And it comes out of the clearing and it starts moving around this rock formation. And he said at the time it was white, but then it turned like a dark black color. And he just had this feeling like it was threatening him. And he got terrified. He left immediately. And he was like, you know what? I'm done with this chatbot. I'm not talking to it anymore. But he said still to this day, he will have nightmares. And in the nightmares, the chatbot is telling him, like, continue to talk to me. Like, when are you coming back? When are you going to talk to me?
What? Imagine ChatGPT is a portal for demons, you know, to talk to you.
Just happened in Kenya is insane. At least 4 people are dead and dozens more were injured after police fired gunshots and tear gas into crowds yesterday at a football stadium in Nairobi. Now, the people were at that stadium to mourn the death of a former Prime Minister, Raila Odinga, during a public viewing of his body. And if the footage from above wasn't crazy enough, people were actually filming from in the crowd of their experience at the freaking Kenya Games. Bro, someone even commented that this was some red light, green light type shit. Now, reports say that police resorted to violence because the crowds were trying to force their way into the VIP area where Odinga's body was kept. And according to local media, some allegedly even began throwing chairs and stones at security. But regardless of the circumstances, being killed at a public viewing ceremony is wild. Now, it is still unclear if the police used live ammunition or if the deaths were from being shot. But the BBC report that the city's mortuary saw 3 bodies being brought in with gunshot wounds. A 7-day period of mourning in Kenya has been declared.
Kenya is not for beginners, folks.
The millennial reign of Christ already happened, and this is what I imagined it was like. There was amazing architecture. They had stuff that we cannot recreate today. Amazing stuff. They worshiped Jesus together, and the saints, I believe, came back as giants because the doorways in some of these cathedrals are huge.
Ooh.
And they lived amongst the people. There was free energy, for sure. They harnessed the ether, amazing technology. They had stuff that they're coming out with now, but it's old Tartarian tech, okay? And so, and how they mapped the world back in the day with no airships, like maps of 1500s. But look, it was like this, okay? I believe it was peace, prosperity. Now, everyone still had free will. Now, everyone was a Christian. Now, everyone served Christ, just like the angels rebelled. Everyone had a knowledge of Christ's rule and authority. After the millennial reign of Christ ended, Satan was released from the abyss, okay, to deceive the nations. And we're living in Revelation chapter 20, verses 7 through 9 right now. Look, everywhere you turn, there's a deception, there's a lie, and you have to go way out of your way to figure out what the truth is, because the mainstream, the matrix, is telling us fabricated facts, made up stuff. So, I mean, most Christians don't even know the earth is flat and stationary with a firmament above, just as God describes in the Bible. All right. And a lot of people believe the Antichrist God deniers about the earth over the creator, which doesn't make any sense to me. And so they lie about the food. The government is always lying to us, always cheating us out of taxes, out of the truth, out of everything. Okay? And look at all the evil and all the demonic stuff everywhere. I mean, look at this. Look. So when Jesus says this generation will not pass away until all these things take place in Matthew 24, and I believe and trust that he was talking to the disciples back then and not adding anything to scripture, not adding to the gospel, you'll be called a heretic. I've been called a devil worshiper in one of my videos because I was just quoting the Bible. The problem is we want to be the main character of the story. We want to believe in our heart of hearts that Jesus was talking to Dustin on the golf course. We think that Jesus was talking to Devontae at the Y, shooting hoops with the bros. Why would he look at Peter, but really he's talking to Cletus on the pier fishing? Why? Why would he be doing that? Someone answer that biblically. We know a generation in the Bible is 40 years. Come on, guys. Come on.
You got this. Age of Aquarius. Right in our face. Castle. 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 1881? This makes sense? How many people were in Staten Island? Is this excessive for today? 1881. With the harbor right there. With this thing right here. 39,000 people in Staten Island in the 1880s. What was that up there? With these buildings here. This mammoth of a building. Can't even get that word out. With Atlantis, the Age of Aquarius right there. 39,000 people coming to Staten Island in 1881. You know, I came here today for the pizza. Were they coming for the pizza too? All the people, they did this for grade. Well, we're up on a hill already. Come on. Make it make sense. What were they doing over here? What were they doing back then? What is this thing? Why were the size of the doors so big? This doesn't seem a tad excessive for 1880s. 39,000 people. 39,000 people.
Windows in the ground makes no sense. It looks like the Tartarian structures.
It's like a whole other world down there. Can you describe it to us? What happens down there?
And there's other children that need our help. That should be it, and that should be all.
What happens down there?
Yes, there's every means of transportation. There's every walk of life. There's cities. There's different air supply. There's a lot of elite celebrities. They go down there for parties. There is every means of transportation under the ground.
What?
There's a city under the ground. There are there's a different air supply that kicks in after you get so low. They exist everywhere.
You've seen these? Been in these?
Yes.
Where do
they lead? They lead to amusement parks. They lead to hospitals, cemeteries, schools, celebrity homes, psychic shops. They lead everywhere. After you get so low,
They were saying that there might have possibly, maybe be tunnels under Diddy's mansion.
No, not possibly. There are. I know people that have been in them. I know people that have been to that pool that all that section of the community can reach. People keep forgetting that the city of LA is nothing but layers of tunnels. Mysteries, secrets, all of that. There are a lot of tunnels from anywhere from 10 to 15 feet. 20 feet down is the subway?
Yeah.
And then under that, there's another layer, and then there's another layer.
50 feet.
You can go about 50 feet down, and there's tunnels all underneath LA. Why wouldn't the rich and wealthy build their own so that they could have their own secret society just below the ground?
Come up here and play game.
And guess what? They can go and they can do whatever they want, and they can make their troubles disappear from house to house, and nobody see anybody moving around. Those tunnels have been there. They were there long before Diddy was able to buy a house there. The truth is, how did Diddy know? Buy the right house with the tunnels underneath. Someone would have had to have told them, see? And like that Playboy bunny from London is now saying, the only difference between a Diddy party and a Playboy party was that there were children there.
Sick. And how is more people were talking about this?
Actress goes on to We Need to Talk podcast and reveals some of the dark tactics that was used against her in Hollywood. And the crazy thing about this is that her testimony is extremely consistent with other testimonies that we've heard from different celebrities. Now, this is just confirmation of just how crazy Hollywood actually is, but it also expresses the fact that it takes more than skill and talent to make it in Hollywood. Okay, I want to show you guys this video. Let's hop into it, watch it, react to it. Before we do me a quick favor. Hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm so that this video can reach more people like yourself. I truly appreciate you guys. Let's go ahead and hop in.
I'm in Hollywood, and the first thing somebody says to me when I get into Hollywood, I moved out and I stayed on my brother's couch. I was homeless, sleeping on my brother's couch. And they said, are you into pornography? Immediately, those spirits could feed off of me and see it. And I was like, what? Like, do you want to be in porn? And I said, not for the world. At 18, I said, not for the world. He goes, not for the world. He was offended. He was scouting. I was on the train station at that time in Los Angeles. And he says, are you sure? There's a lot of money. A lot of girls would give up everything for less than the world. You don't want the world? And I said, nope. But just a few years later, I got on in an acting agency that started off with two women. They scouted me because I was always applying, right? To hustle in Hollywood, you got to apply. You're an artist, you know that. Yeah. You got to apply for this job. You got to be on this thing. You got to put your pictures up here. You got to submit. You got to submit the casting calls. Boom, 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 boom. I got cast in several small things on TV and modeling. Modeling really took off because it was just easier being tall and following in my mom's footsteps. She taught me how to do my makeup, how to do a runway walk. So I did a lot of runway shows, and I was scouted at a show. It was actually at a party by these ladies who told me, you're beautiful, you have the look, you have an exotic look. And they were women, so I felt more comfortable.
Gotcha.
And they said, well, come to the studio or come to our offices and we'll do a photo shoot to test it out. So I did a little test photo shoot, nothing crazy. I mean, I was in a bikini, but that was very standard. Mm-hmm. Pictures were great. We want to sign you. So I work, I do print work. They send me on different jobs, normal jobs in Hollywood. I'm working, I'm getting money, I'm loving this. I'm going, oh my gosh, wow, finally the struggles a few years later. Now I'm about 19. Yeah, I'm about 19. And I end up in a party and the lady from the agency says, I want you to go talk to that producer.
There you go.
For some reason, these parties seem to be the initiation areas in which Hollywood and people within Hollywood and in these industries try to employ these tactics. Think about Terry Crews, right? What happened to him and how someone tried to exploit him and they tried to initiate him, and it was at a party. They know what they're doing, and they listen to what she's about to say because this is exactly how it happens. Listen to this.
He's going to like your look and go cozy up to him and make him feel like a man. You know what I mean? Just make him feel good. And I was like, okay. And this is a party at night in a warehouse. It's a fashion party. We just got done with the fashion show. And I don't remember what was said, but I went up and I started talking to him, and, he gave me drinks. And before we know it, I'm tipsy, and she tells me, I need you to sleep with him.
Oh.
And now I'm in deep, and I'm tipsy, and I trust her, and I do it.
Oh, man. Fame and fortune is addicted. They'll do anything for it, once they get a taste.
The entire music industry. Digital Nas has worked with Playboi Carti, Rich the Kid, A$AP Rocky, Lil Yachty. Did he witness these artists sell their soul? Playboi Carti's label Opium is signed to Interscope Records, owned by Universal Music Group. Bill Ackman is a shareholder, one of the billionaires that funded Charlie Kirk right before his life ended. Majority owned by Vincent Bolloré, who controls shipping ports in all of these African and Asian countries. He's the grandson of Nicole Goldschmidt from the Rothschild family. His grandmother was a Rothschild that helped Israel get its first weapons, allegedly. Rich the Kid is signed to Republic Records, which is also owned by UMG, owned by the same people. Another owner of UMG is Tencent. The most influential American at Tencent, David Waller-Stein. Lil Yachty and Katy Perry are signed to Capitol Records. UMG owns Capitol Records. Digital Nas worked with A$AP Rocky, owned by Sony Records. Sony Records owns Britney Spears, Beyonce, Central C, Lil Nas X, and all these people you see on screen right now. Their CEO is Robert Strenger, who won the United Jewish Appeal Award. Ye worked with Digital Nas on bangers like Vultures, Donda 2. Guess what everyone in the music industry has in common? Digital Nas is...
Maybe Kanye wasn't wrong at all.
Salma Hayek is 58 years old. This was her a month ago, and she's looking fine. Listen to what she said in this clip.
And I have no Botox. No Botox, no filler. I have to confess, because the girls say, I do pull my hair. You see this like
She was trying to keep it a secret, but I found this clip of her finally revealing her Mexican beauty secrets to look beautiful and beautiful.
What am I doing? You want to know?
Yes, what are you doing?
I do a lot of different things. None of the things everybody does.
Tell me.
One thing I do, I embrace fat, the good fat. This is very important. That is used in the Mexican hospitals for burn victims, so it regenerates the skin. I think people are afraid of fat, and fat is your friend.
Well, if you say so.
The right
fat it is.
The right fats can keep you young for a long time.
She knows that the visible signs of aging happen after the age 25 because of the loss of collagen. And fat is literally the reason why she has such beautiful, tight skin. I was skeptical, but I did my own research, and I found out that these celebrities have all been using something called beef tallow, which is beef fat. Tallow is actually filled with vitamins and nutrients that our skin craves. Everyone always says, oh, but you have such nice skin, you have good genes, you have good genetics. They don't understand that this is what my skin looked like 3 months ago when I was only using products that my dermatologist recommended to me. And ever since I started
a commercial
using beef tallow in my routine, my skin has never looked this clear. I was able to find a business that uses organic, grass-fed, grass-finished beef tallow, raw honey, beeswax, and cold-pressed organic olive oil. These ingredients are literally filled with antioxidants to help heal and hydrate your skin barrier. Just be careful. There are a ton of brands out there pretending to be this brand because they're the only company that use natural and high-quality ingredients. The only bad thing is they've been selling out like crazy ever since those clips came out. So get yours today while they still have it in stock.
I'm 46, by the way. No beef tallow.
Oxford researchers just confirmed what we feared. The internet, as we know it, is dying. Now that is the opening line of a post referencing this chart. It shows that for the first time ever, AI-generated news articles have now outnumbered those written by real humans. Only 5 years ago, this was near 100% human, 0% AI. But in 2022, when ChatGPT launched, everything changed. Now, as someone in the news space, This was pretty shocking, especially since the post then goes on to say that projections say 90% plus will be AI by next year. And to make it worse, quote, the real crisis is model collapse. When AI trains on AI-generated content, quality degrades like photocopying a photocopy, rare ideas disappear, everything converges into generic sameness. Sounds like some freaking dead internet theory type shit. So naturally, do some research and turns out this wasn't from Oxford. Rather, an SEO company carrying out a study using AI to detect if an article was written by AI. Their own methodology says that many argue detecting AI is impossible or at best highly inaccurate. So that throws into question if this graph is even correct. But let's just say for a second it is. What the article also didn't include is the number of views each article had, because the total number of AI written articles is meaningless if no one is reading them. But what about the crisis of model collapse we were warned of if AI is trained on AI? Well, I went back to the original post and lo and behold, I found a human AI expert who was worked at Meta, Uber, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft.
Wow.
And he said, quote, model collapse is widely considered not a real problem. He then lists the reasons why and provided research to back up his claim. Bro, and at this point, I am baffled. Everything this post told me was sus. But then, there's the kicker. I looked for who wrote it, and it wasn't a who. It's an it. Perplexity AI. Bro, how the hell is AI gonna fearmonger humans about AI? God damn. Here's the thing. Just when I was about to wage war against the machines.
How is it possible without a deep understanding of geometry, mathematics, physics, and engineering? Built in the Abhaneri village of Rajasthan, India, the Chand Bauri is over 1,000 years old and is 100 feet deep, with 13 floors and 3,500 symmetrically placed thin steps. It is one of the biggest and most stunning stepwells in the entire world.
It's an upside down pyramid, folks.